ka-habits! Magandang araw sa lahat!
Hello po! Good day mga kahabits!
Father Toots ulit at
Sister Cleope po!
ayan! Nandito tayo ngayon kapatid at mga kahabits sa sinapupunan ng kalikasan sa Bunga Falls, Nagcarlan, Laguna. Alam nyo bakit kami nandito ngayon kasama ang buong CMSP Secretariat at Family ay dahil pinagdiriwang natin ang
Laudato Si Week!
alam mo kapatid, na-inlove talaga ako sa falls, sa kapaligiran. Talagang kung mahal natin ang kalikasan, mamahalin niya tayo.
Ito yung tahanan natin, kaya dapat natin itong preserve, alagaan po ang kung anong meron tayo. Ito po, sana maranasan madali ng mga next generations natin kapatid. Samahan niyo po kami dito mga kahabits sa may Laudato Si experience
Yes,
natin.
isang karanasan kung paano tayo binubuhay ng ating mother, ang common home. Kaya magtanim na, maglinis, ano pa?
Alagaan ng maayos ang ating paligiran.
Itapon yung mga nabubulok sa hindi nabubulok. Ano pa? Marami tayong pwedeng gawin dahil isa lang ang ating common home, kapatid at mga kahabits. At ito ang ating Mother Earth. Let us embrace Mother Earth and love her and let us protect her. See? Napakaganda! Ang ganda-ganda! Nakikita mo ang nature! Nature lover ka ba?
Ay, oo!
Pareho tayo kapatid.
Configuration Field, it's nice to be here.
Yes! Ano yun? Bless the Lord! Seas and rivers!
Bless the Lord.
Trees
Mountains
and hills! Bless the Lord! Ayan! Happy celebration po ng Laudato Si Week. Atin po ito. Tay! Tara na!
Tara, swim!
Para sa iyo, bakit mahalaga ang kalikasan sa tao? Sobrang halaga nito lalo na sa mga susunod na kabataan na ito yung magbibigay sa kanila ng kanilang mga pangangailangan tulad ng puno ng buko. Marami itong naibibigay na magpapagaan sa mga gawain ng tao, sa mga pag-refreshment. Kaya tayong mga millennial, tayo yung gagawa ng paraan para maprotektahan natin ang kalikasan para sa mga susunod na henerasyon. Kaya lagi natin tatandaan, there is no planet B.
Ano ang kalikasan anong kahalagahan ng kalikasan sa buhay ng isang tao o sa buhay ng mga tao? Ang kalikasan ay ating tahanan. Dito tayo lumago, dito kumukuha ng ating pagkain, dito natin binubuo ang ating pamilya at sana ito ay ating pangangalagaan dahil ito rin ang tanging maipamana natin sa susunod na mga henerasyon.
Bakit mahalaga ang kalikasan sa buhay ng tao? Dahil siguro naniniwala ako na ang kalikasan ng tao ay magkakaugnay. Hindi pwede mapaghiwalay dahil kung wala ang kalikasan, hindi mabubuhay ang mga tao. Kung wala ang tubig, hindi rin mabubuhay ang mga tao. Kung wala ang hangin na binibigay ng mga puno, hindi rin mawawalan din ang saysay yung buhay ng isang tao. Kaya masasabi ko na sobrang halaga, as in super halaga. At hindi siya pwedeng mapaghiwalay, hindi pwede siyang mawala.
Basic talaga dyan yung question ng survival. Na kung yung kalikasan natin masira, talagang tayo apektado. Masisira rin tayo. Even yung COVID pandemic, dahil yun sa pag-encroach natin sa area ng mga wildlife. Kaya yung kanilang mga sakit, nakapenetrate dun sa mga population ng mga tao. Sa amin naman sa Marikina, kitang-kita ko, habang nagkakalbo yung mga bundok, sa amin pumupunta yung tubig ulan. At hindi bilang ulan, kundi bilang baha. Kaya yung baha, hindi ka makapag-ipon, hindi ka ma-inspire na mangarap ng matinong bahay. Kasi alam mo namang babahayin ka lang ulit. So instead of giving you inspiration, ang destruction ng kalikasan, pag di mo nilagaan yan, magbibigay sa'yo depression. And that's, ganun yung kahalaga ang kalikasan sa tao.
So, Ate Mai, maaari niyo po ba explain sa amin gaano ba kahalaga ang Laudato Si encyclical?
Una sa lahat, ngayon ay pinagdiriwang natin ang linggo ng Laudato Si, no? Isang linggong pag-alala at pagpapahalaga sa encyclicals ni Pope Francis, no? Ang encyclicals ay napakahalaga. Ito kasi yung nagbibigay sa atin ng kamulatan at nananawagan upang pangalagaan ang ating kalikasan. Mahalagang-mahalaga ang kalikasan sa ating buhay dahil tayo ay bahagi ng kalikasan. Hindi tayo ang nagmamay-ari ng mga iba't ibang nilikha ng Panginoon, kung hindi tayo ay isa lamang bahagi ng kalikasan na ito. Ang encyclicals ngayon ay ipinagdiriwang, especially ngayong linggong ito, upang bigyang tuon natin ang kahalagahan ng pangangalaga ng ating mundo. Lalo't higit ang ating mundo ay kasalukuyang umiinit na. Sinasabi noon na ito ay climate change. Pero ngayon, hindi lang climate change, kung hindi nasa code red na ang ating mundo at tinatawag na itong climate disaster. Kaya kung ganito ang kalagayan ng ating mundo, kailangan nating magkaisa upang ipagtanggol, pangalagaan at singilin ang mga bansa na nagre-release ng maraming carbon dioxide at nagpapainit sa ating mundo. So, patuloy tayong manindigan para sa kalikasan.
No se olviden de rezar por mí.
Sister, among the pastries, the cakes, and the bread, what is the best seller? A lot of people would order from you.
You know, focaccia.
Focaccia.
Focaccia is really, yesterday I prepared 17.
Wow.
17 trays
Focaccia.
of focaccia. Also bread.
Mhm.
Bread.
Italian
But,
bread.
there is a time is more the bread.
Mhm.
There is a time
More on focaccia.
no, focaccia is always.
Yes.
It's always.
Ah.
Mabuhay Pilipinas, and hello to the rest of the world.
Yeah, welcome to your new companion in looking at the church, the society, and the world from a religious point of view.
Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration and information straight from the consecrated men and women of the Philippines. We are your Kahabits,
no, from
the Society of Jesus.
I'm Brother Nato,
And I'm Brother G-Boy.
and we are here today at Viola House of Studies inside the Ateneo de Manila University.
Kamusta ka, Brother Nato?
Ayan, okay naman Brother G-Boy. I'm actually very excited to
to show our viewers, our listeners, to introduce them to Jesuit life.
Yes.
What
So,
about you?
I'm also excited to introduce to them who the Jesuits are. Of course, dahil mga Jesuita tayo, gusto natin ipakita kung sino tayo kung sino tayo sa mundo.
Yes, through our ministries, and the Christian stories also of our brothers.
So, welcome sa masaya at good vibes tungo sa kabanalan. Ito ang The Habits Tambayan.
Bayan.
Welcome back to The Habits Tambayan. So, Brother Nato, kailangan ba pumasok ng kapisanan ni Jesus?
Pumasok ako noong 2019. That's right after graduating from college. At ikaw, Brother G-Boy?
So, I entered in 2018. Prior to entering the society, I worked as a physical therapist in Bataan. So, now I'm studying philosophy. So, it's my first year of philosophy studies dito sa Loyola School of Theology.
Yan, ako naman, I'm about to finish my junior studies, which is, that's the first year of studies sa Jesuit Scholastic.
Alright. So, Brother Nato?
Ayan, para ngayong hapon, ng mga kahabits, sama-sama tayong mag-bonding dito lang sa ating Habits Tambayan. But first, we invite you to visit our social media pages, follow us at our Instagram and Facebook page, at Conference of Major Superiors PH. Heart and follow na para updated ka.
At syempre, maraming salamat sa mga pinakamamahal nating Heart Star Senders. Kaya ano pang hinihintay mo? Chance mo na to para makatulong sa ating mga kapatid by sending us Facebook stars. Alam mo ba kung paano, Brother Nato, mag-send ng stars?
All you need to do is to click the star icon next to the comment section, and then you can now buy stars and send them to us. The more stars you can send, the more people you can help.
At mga kahabits, please keep watching and sharing our videos from our YouTube channel, Conference of Major Superiors PH. At sa mga hindi pa subscribe na para maabot natin ang 10,000 subscribers mark.
Also, mapapanood din tayo sa TV Maria. Hanapin ang TV Maria channel sa inyong free and cable TV. At tumutok every Sunday night at 8:30 and every Thursday at 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. Brother G-Boy,
Yes.
bakit sa pagkarami-raming religious congregation, sa kapisanan ni Jesus ka pumasok?
Wow! Siguro, una ko nakilala yung kapisanan ni Jesus sa pamamagitan ng isang libro, yung A Jesuit Guide to Almost Everything ni James Martin. Nabasa mo ba yun?
Part of it.
Yun, so nabasa ko yun nung nagtatrabaho nga ako bilang physical therapist at parang nagustuhan ko kung ano yung spirituality ng mga Jesuita. So, kaya kinontak ko yung vocation director namin, ng mga Society of Jesus,
Ng mga Jesuits.
ng mga Jesuits. At mas nakilala ko sila at lumalim naman yung pagkakakilala ko sa Diyos, kaya naisipan ko tumuloy sa pag-Jesuita, sa pagiging isang Jesuita.
Oo naman. The spirituality pala yung nakapag-attract sa'yo.
Oo, kaya ito na. Simulan na natin ang paghahasik ng mabuting balita at syempre good vibes at saya.
Kaya mga kahabits, we now present to you
The Society of Jesus, aka the Jesuits.
Made a wrong turn once or twice, dug my way out, blood and fire. Bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life. Mistreated, misplaced, misunderstood, Mr. No way, it's so good. It didn't slow me down. Mistaken, underestimated, always second guessing. Look, I'm still around. Pretty please, if you ever feel like you're less than perfect. Pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me. You're so me, when you talk about yourself, you are wrong. Change the voices in your head, make them like you instead. So complicated, look how big you make it, filled with so much hatred, such a tired game. It's enough, I've done all I can think of, chased down all my demons, see you do the same. Pretty please, if you ever feel like you're less than perfect. Pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, because you're amazing just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, because you're amazing, just the way you are, just the way you are, the way you are, just the way you are, the way you are, just the way you are, because you're amazing, just the way you. Pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect, just the way you are.
Alam niyo ba mga kahabits na ang kapisanan ni Jesus, as the Society of Jesus, was founded by Saint Ignatius of Loyola. And much of Ignatian spirituality and Jesuit spirituality come from the life and experiences of Saint Ignatius. And so let's watch this video to know more about the life of Saint Ignatius of Loyola.
Finding God in all things. I'd like to tell you something about that. I'm now at the end of an adventurous life, and I can tell you that I find God whenever I want to find Him. How did it happen? You see this young man, a real macho Spaniard. That's me. My story begins when I almost lost my legs. To my own amazement, there on the battlefield, my adventure with Jesus began. I was on my back for a year, at first with just one thing on my mind: to restart my life as a knight as soon as possible, until I slowly discovered that God had other things in store for me. I daydreamed a lot in those days. What else was there to do? About a prominent woman, and how I would win her affection through my heroic deeds. What I wanted was a few novels about chivalry to read. But what I got was a book about the life of Jesus, and a collection of stories about saints, people who followed Jesus in a special way. It surprised me that I started dreaming about these stories too. Then I imagined how I would perform the same great deeds as the saints, and that I would do even more for God than all these men and women put together. In all this fantasizing, I made a remarkable discovery. Each time I thought about my life of excess as a knight, I felt energized at first, but then I became lethargic and tired. However, when I thought of the great heroic deeds I would accomplish for God, I felt just as excited.
but I remained energized afterwards and experienced deep joy, a striking difference. It turned out to be a key guide for finding God in everyday life. My desire to dedicate my life radically to God grew ever stronger. For me, that meant leaving behind the life of a knight. I decided to go to Jerusalem as a pilgrim because I wanted to be in the places where my new friend Jesus had been. This thought filled me with joy, which for me was a sign that I was on the right path. When I was still just at the start of my journey, I got into an argument with a Muslim man. I found what he said about Mary, the mother of Jesus, offensive, and it really got under my skin. He went on ahead, and I began to question myself. I believed he had insulted Mary. Shouldn't I attack him with my dagger? I would certainly have done it before, but maybe it didn't fit with this new life. I didn't know. I decided to give my donkey free rein so that it could decide. In this way, and to my own surprise, I discovered that I could entrust myself to the will of someone outside myself. I'm not alone in this. Later, when I knew better who God is and how to find him, I wouldn't let a donkey decide, but God himself. I travelled on to the Spanish town of Manresa, where I had many new insights. In my heart, I was still a bit of a player who wanted to woo God the way I had secured the affections of women. If a saint had kneeled for 5 hours, then I prayed for 7. Another time, I decided not to eat or drink for a week. I blindly followed the example of all the saints at the same time, and it made me very unhappy. It made me so desperate that I even considered ending my life. This is not what was meant to happen. Clearly living like this was not what God was asking me to do. From this, I realized that God was inviting me to look for him in my own personal way. It was as if my eyes were slowly opening. Bit by bit, I discovered how I could find God by listening to my deepest feelings. In this, my friendship with Jesus was a great help. I worked at it every day, praying with the stories of Jesus' life. I paid close attention to what was going on in my heart. What is he inviting me to do? In this way, I learned to discern how I could better direct my life and come to find God more easily. A year later, I made the crossing to Jerusalem by ship. Finally. Again and again, I visited the places Jesus had been. What more could I want? Standing on the ground where my friend Jesus had stood, breathing the air that he breathed. Before the journey home, I went to the Mount of Olives one more time. This is the place where Jesus ascended to heaven. Because it was forbidden to go there without a guide, I had to bribe the guard. I wanted to pray at the place where Jesus had stood for the last time. When I realized that I didn't know which direction Jesus was facing at his ascension, I went back. I wanted to know even the smallest details about Jesus. It was now clear to me that everything, absolutely everything, is centered on him. As I was being led through the city like a criminal, my heart was filled with joy, and I felt Jesus close by. Back in Europe, I began to study. I had come to realize that you must use not only your heart to find God, but also your head. In Paris, I became friends with 6 fellow students with whom later I would found the Jesuit order. With them, I made another discovery. You can find God by devoting yourself to others. More than that, you can find him in all things. We cared for the poor and helped others to find God in their everyday lives. It's hard to believe what that cannonball set in motion. A tough guy who founded a religious order. What a conversion. And yet, this is not offered as something exceptional. Absolutely not. You too can learn to discern God's voice in the feelings and longings already present in your life. In this way, God invites you to a life of great joy and deep love for yourself and for those around you. It's up to you to choose to make your decisions on this basis. There are many ways to find God. Find Him among young people hoping for a meaningful future. Listen to the earth that groans and longs for healing. See the countless poor, refugees, and outcasts yearning for justice. God invites you also to seek Him and find Him in all things. What conversion, what change of direction is He calling you to?
Habits, ano nga ba ang ginagawa ng mga Heswita dito sa Pilipinas? At gaano nga ba kahaba ang formation process sa kapisanan ni Jesus? Malalaman natin sa susunod na video.
Hi there! When you were still young, you dreamed a lot. In fact, you dreamed a lot of things in life. You dreamed of traveling and meeting people. You dreamed of becoming a doctor, an engineer, or a teacher perhaps. Now, do you know that God has dreams for you too? Yes, He does. What if He calls you to a different path? Now, think again. We are the Society of Jesus. We call ourselves the Jesuits. Founded in 1540 by Saint Ignatius of Loyola, a Basque nobleman and soldier, and 7 of his companions. For over 450 years, Jesuits have lived an amazing story of serving the church in new and unexpected ways. Today, there are almost 18,000 Jesuits in 127 nations in 6 continents, the largest single order of priests and brothers in the world. In the Philippines, there are almost 300 men in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Some are sent to foreign missions too. Jesuits work in a variety of capacities around the world. We are deeply engaged in education, parish ministry, spiritual direction, medicine, TV and radio communications, to name a few. What's unique about the Jesuits is that we are encouraged to follow our hearts. Being a Jesuit priest or brother doesn't prevent one from being a doctor. It won't keep one from being a lawyer. The possibilities of ministries are endless. Each is given the privilege to discern what his heart desires alongside the needs of the church and the society. Now, here's some trivia. Do you know that there are almost 50 canonized Jesuit saints and 137 more Jesuits have been declared blessed? 35 craters of the moon have been named after Jesuits in honor of their work as astronomers and scientists. Amazing? I know! Now, let's talk about how one becomes a Jesuit. The first step in considering a Jesuit priesthood is as easy as having a casual conversation with a teacher, a priest, or campus minister. An aspiring candidate must undergo long and extensive formation. It would take around 12 years of training and studying. While ordained priests administer the sacraments like the Mass, some Jesuits choose to be brothers. Jesuit brothers generously devote themselves to a particular ministry or service. Jesuits formalize their commitment by perpetual vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience after 2 years of initial formation in the novitiate. Basically, that's it. Dare to dream, buddy. Know that His plans are always better than ours. You see, Either way, you still get to live your dream. That is if you begin to recognize how your truest aspirations easily match those of the one real source of all dreams, God. Is it sinking in? No rush, because you can contact us anytime. For more information, log on to www.phjesuits.org or send us a message to 0917-5378-487.
Mga kahabits, did you know that there was a point in Jesuit history, when the Society of Jesus was suppressed all over the world? It was only in 1814 that the Society of Jesus was restored. But the Jesuits only returned to the Philippines in 1859. And since then, the Jesuits have been engaged in various ministries and apostolates here in the Philippines that continue to serve and minister to the gospel of Christ.
They brought that whole system not just to Europe, they brought it all over the world. They brought it to China, they established a college in Macau, they brought it to Latin America, and some of the big Jesuit schools in Latin America trace back to this period of the early society, and even in the Philippines.
In the mid-16th century, new peoples were being discovered all over, and the Jesuits were interested in reaching them, bringing the gospel to them. So Ignatius sent missions to Ethiopia, to very distant parts of Europe, and also to Asia. They were journeys of discovery.
But as early as 1750, there were already rumblings about the society. One of the things that irked the monarchs in Europe was that they felt that the Jesuits were too independent. So there was a lot of negative propaganda about them. And the big issue was always, were the Jesuits and their products loyal to the king? Eventually, the popes, starting with the Pius VI, actually, but it was really the successor Pius VII who eventually restores the society on the 7th of August in the year 1814. In a sense, the Jesuits had to revive their understanding of what it meant to be a Jesuit. Because in a sense, the continuity of life was broken.
In all our lives and in history, there are ups and downs. So we have times of disaster and we have times of success. But I suppose the great achievement is that many, many hundreds of people entered into the lives of the people locally and a whole diversity of cultures and brought the message of the gospel to them, and those people accepted that and chose to live by that way of life, of the Beatitudes, of simplicity and of love of Jesus. Well, in every one of the ministries, the mission is to serve faith, justice, in dialogue with cultures and religions.
We have easily a problem of Jesuit presence, diminishing Jesuit presence, and it's been going down. About a third, easily a third of our population are already in their 70s and above. We may not be the young province that we were before, but we have to face the reality that things are changing. Even in the Philippine context, it's also changing. It's becoming to be secularized, and therefore the difficulty of religious presence is felt. We want to look at the future with a sense of renewed mission. For the Philippine province, we identified 5 mission goals: the promotion of Ignatian spirituality. The other one, we want to be involved in Asia-Pacific assistance. The third goal is we want to be involved with the local church. The fourth goal that we would like to pay attention is our work for the environment. Finally, we want to pay more attention to Mindanao, especially in regard to issues around poverty and inequality. It was in 1814 when we were restored as a society. And so what we want to have in this celebration is an experience of gratitude. We want to be thankful for the 200 years of grace and blessings. And the second element, we want it to be an experience of renewal. We want to renew ourselves spiritually. So this celebration of the bicentennial jubilee of the restoration of the society is not just about us. It is about the values that we feel are important and the aspirations of our people. It's not promoting ourselves, it's not being triumphalistic, it is our way also of just simply thanking the Lord for the 200 years so that we can renew ourselves, situate and position ourselves for the future mission that awaits us all.
Mga kahabits, huwag kayong aalis. Marami pa kaming ihahandog para sa inyo.
And don't forget to follow instagram.com amrsp.media and our facebook.com/amrsp.org. Nakakautal yun, ano? I also send more Facebook stars for you to help the different advocacies of the CMSP. At kahabits, please watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, AMRSP Media.
Magbabalik ang masaya at good vibes tungo sa kabanalan. Ito ang The Habits Tambayan.
Ang buwan at mga bituin na sa langit yung inilalay. Ang iyong pangalan.
Magandang araw po, brothers and sisters. Ang COVID-19 pandemic po ay hindi katang-isip. Ito ay totoo. It is real. In fact po, marami tayong kakilala, kapamilya, kaibigan, kamag-anak na na-infect ng virus na ito. Ang iba, hindi nakayanan at pumanaw. Marami din mga survivors. At kapatid,
At maraming apektado, walang pili po. ang COVID-19, di ba kapatid?
Walang superman at superwoman. Wala.
Madre pare.
Bata, matanda.
Mayaman at mahirap.
Ordinaryong tao, simpleng tao, kahit
So,
may pera ka, kapatid.
Talagang totoo at real
Oo.
talaga ang COVID-19.
Alam mo, Sister Clofe, tapos may tinanong ako ng isang kaibigan din, ano na ba ang ginagawa ng simbahan? May
Madalas
nagawa ba?
Yun din ang tinatanong, ano?
Oo.
Opo naman, marami kaya, Father Tus, ang ginagawa na simbahan.
Kagaya ng?
Yung mga gym natin, yung mga eskwelahan po ng mga Catholic schools, and even mga parokya ginagawang quarantine facilities.
Yes, ng mga frontliners.
Oo.
Correct. Yung mga Catholic hospitals and clinics natin, kapatid. Parokya.
Oo.
Tapos, ginawang vaccination centers.
At
Correct.
even nag-volunteer din ibang mga nurses
yes,
ng mga
totoo.
simbahan natin.
Totoo,
And
kapatid.
even nurses and doctors ng mga madre natin. So, hindi lang siya, sabi niya, wala daw ginawa. Marami talaga
So, sa panahon ng pandemya, brothers and sisters, ang simbahan ay sensitive at involved sa nangyayari. In fact, may mensahe sa atin si Pope Francis himself. Kasi, merong information education drive na mula sa
Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development, Vatican COVID-19 Commission Health Task Force.
Ayan. At saka, ito kapatid, pinadala sa atin mga basic na tanong at sagot.
Na huwag tayong matakot. Bakit ba dapat magpabakuna? So dito po
Correct.
natin ito malalaman.
Teka muna, kapatid, ano yung quotation natin? Mula kay Pope Francis?
Ayan. So ito po, isa sa mga quotation po ni Pope Francis, to ensure the majority of people are vaccinated is an act of love.
Wow.
Diba? So, kasi vaccination according to him is a simple but profound way of promoting the common good and caring for each other, especially the most vulnerable.
At may Tagalog version din yan, kapatid.
Ito.
Yan. Para sa mga Tagalog speaking natin, ang sabi din ni Pope Francis, ang ating Santo Papa, ang matiyak na ang halos lahat ng mga tao ay mapabakunahan ay tanda ng pagmamahal. Naniniwala akong sa ethical na pananaw, lahat ay dapat tumanggap ng bakuna. Ito ay isang moral na desisyon dahil ito ay tungkol sa buhay mo at sa buhay din ng ibang tao. Galing po kay Pope Francis, hindi galing sa atin, kapatid.
Oo.
At galing ito sa Vatican COVID-19 Health Commission at ng
CMSP na
ang
dati
Conference of Major Superiors of the Philippines na dati ay
AMRSP, Association of Major Religious Superiors in the Philippines.
Ayan. At alam niyo po, magpapakuna na tayo. Takot ka ba sa karayon?
Pero sa mga ganyan,
ay, hindi
talaga
pwede.
talagang kailangan
natin
palakasan ng loob.
mabuhay. So, ang vaccine, kapatid, ay hindi gamot, pero makakatulong.
Makakatulong talaga siya.
At
so, mga brothers and sisters, huwag po tayong matakot po na magpabakuna.
Yes. Dahil ito po ay ang ating tanda ng ating pagmamahal. Maririnig po din natin ang kampanyang ito sa mga radio stations, kapatid.
Yes,
Radio Veritas
throughout
at
the
mga
Philippines
partners
po yun.
throughout the Philippines
In
po.
all languages po ng ating mga kababayang Pilipino. So, maintindihan natin kung bakit ganun po ang pag-promote natin ng vaccination. So,
Get vaccinated because this is an act of love.
It's because the Ignatian education actually gives us a sense of humanity. I am Delphin Stephen de Dios Villafuerte. Before, when I was in Ateneo, people used to say Magis, man for others, looks in domino. It's easy to say, but if you're an Ateneo, you really see people who would inspire you to really do the same. To not just say it, but actually do it. Intrinsically, it's because you have been trained to think of others. You have to be a man for others. And beyond philosophy class, beyond theology class, where it's always ingrained in us na ang kalipunan at ang kapwa, ang pagiging tao para sa iba, ang sumasakatawang diwa. So many philosophical terms. And honestly, I felt in many of my classes, I had to ground it in something I would actually do. And doing Teach for the Philippines was actually the answer. So, why did I choose to teach for the Philippines? I felt like I wanted to do it. I think, so I'm good at it. And third, I think it's what my country also needs. And I guess when they say vocation is the intersection between what you love to do, what you think you're good at doing, and what your country and what God thinks you have to do. That's your vocation. And I guess the challenge there is really how do you connect with each and every individual, with each student who has grown up so differently, who has a different background, who has so many different dreams, and who has so many different degrees of believing in themselves. And the challenge would really be, how can you as a teacher change that and make the student actually a better individual by the time your years old? You may be the only person these students might meet who would actually believe in them. You may be their only champion. You may be a real parent to them. And essentially, that's what an Ateneo education would really want me to do. Na it's not about Ateneo, it's about the Philippines, it's about the world. Take all that you can from an Ateneo education because it will humanize you, it will ground you in so many things you did not even know. And in this grounding, maybe you would find the right decision which you will own, you will stand by with, and you will make the Philippines, make Ateneo, make everyone in the world proud of what you do. Wherever you choose to go, angkinin ang desisyon, magtaya, pag pumili ka, ang manindigan sa pinili mo. Huwag matakot.
Sa sangkalupaan, ibinahagi
hayaang buwan, ikutin man ang kalagitan, ang Diyos din ang dinaratnan. Kahanga ang iyong pangalan, O Panginoon, sa sangkalupaan ipinagmuli mo ang iyong kamahalan sa buong
Brother Nato, may tanong ako.
Ano?
Meron bang Jesuita na nag-inspire sa'yo para pumasok sa kapisanan o magtuloy-tuloy sa Jesuit formation?
Oo, syempre, meron. No? Naalala ko si Father Nick Cruz. Dati siyang nagtuturo ng film dito sa Ateneo at dati ring board member ng MTRCB. Minsan, isang open house, natanong siya if he was happy as a Jesuit, in many years of being a Jesuit. And he readily said yes, no, with a smile. It was a very poignant encounter I had with him.
Wow, naantig ka, ibig sabihin.
Siyempre. At ikaw naman, Brother G-Boy?
Sa akin siguro si Father Mon Bautista, isang kilalang retreat master at novice master din ng mga kapatid nating Jesuita. Siguro kasi tuwing kausap ko si Father Mon, parang nakakausap ko na rin ang Panginoon. Parang nadadala niya talaga ako sa Panginoon. Kaya si Father Mon talaga isang inspiring Jesuit para sa akin.
Ayan, kaya sa ating mapapanood na video, tunghayan po natin ang iba't ibang kwento ng pagtugon ng mga Jesuita sa Panginoon.
Let's watch this.
There's a lot of excitement, bubbling happiness, also anxiety, nerves, yes, but mostly hope, trust, a lot of gratitude.
Well, my vocation, journey, and mission is an unfolding mystery to me. I'm continuing to discover that.
A little bit anxious. I mean, we just finished our Triduum retreat. And I think mostly a great deal of unworthiness of what is to come. But nonetheless, the Lord sustains and the Lord assures.
今、3日間の黙想を終えて、心に一番大きな落ち着きがある状態で、また大きな喜びと神様への感謝の思いでいっぱいです。で、本当にこの修練院に来て、修友たちと共に過ごしたことがすごい大きな恵みでもあるので、ここに呼んでくださった主に感謝したいです。
I think it's also coming from the part of me that's millennial, the difficulty to commit, that kind, but it's just very little compared to the peace and the gratitude that I feel towards God.
I feel grateful. Well, first, very grateful to God for this 2 years of formation and for accepting me through the Society of Jesus. So I also very thankful to the Society in all the way on my discernment and in these 2 years of formations give me a lot of support, accompaniment, and resources to help me to grow and to really discern about my vocation.
Suddenly, a question occurred to me. What if I become a priest? And more than being afraid, I felt a deep sense of joy and peace entered me. I cannot anymore just keep on running away from this invitation from the Lord. So I entered the candidacy house of the Society of Jesus to help me in my discernment. Then after 1 year, I entered the Sacred Heart Novitiate. I would summarize it as SHN also. No? First, of being stretched. Second, of being honed. And then finally, of being nurtured.
I would like to say if the image for a vocation is like a candle, burning or giving your life to give light to others, then here is like a place that molding the wax into a candle. All the way I get to be, when you heat the wax, it becomes transparent. So I think in this process, I get to know more about God, know more about myself, and know more about the society. And it helped me to make the decisions or to confirm my decisions to be a Jesuit.
We all have our own warts and failures and pains and struggles, but we are always there with each other. And we're all pursuing, trying to live this life of holiness together, accompanying each other through the process. And also the formation that is provided, the psycho-spiritual work, the different experiments where we really are given the opportunity to deepen, to go within ourselves, to find out where and which areas we struggle, and where and which areas we strive most. So those are very uplifting because it really helps us to, or helps me to find God more, not only outside but also within myself. So, yeah.
As a novice, I have to let go. I have to surrender many things of my past life, my former life, like who my friends are, like staying with my own family, like even my own preferences of schedule. I have to let go of all of that, and that's kind of tough, very tough. But at the same time, it's an experience also of receiving so much more. I received so much more from the Lord in letting go of my schedule, of my own personal schedule. I was given the time to pray. I was given the time to rest. I was given the time to interact with my brothers. In letting go of my own preferences for friends, I was able to gain a whole wider set of circle of friends. It's both an experience of giving up, but at the same time receiving so much more.
While working, I remember one day I was in the stairwell of my company during a lunch break, and I was reading the first Jesuits at that time, and I remember I was reading about John Babruff, and as I was reading about him, suddenly I felt this sense of freeing, kind of expanding kind of love that I really can't describe. And at that point, I started weeping and weeping. I couldn't control myself, and it was a bit awkward because I was supposed to go back to work, so I was in tears and everything. It was a really, really weird situation.
So what motivated me? I think service and availability, being close to Jesus, doing what He's doing, joining Him in what He's doing, and to do what He wants me to do.
Basically, it's an experience of a journey towards my own heart. And that can be very frightening because
It makes me become aware of my own vulnerability.
To confront myself, not in an antagonistic, in an attacking kind of way, but really just to confront in that sense, to face.
この共同体はやっぱりその国際色豊かなので、その中でやっぱり大きな、時々そのカルチャーショックによっての対立や、あとその不満などもあるんですけど、その中でもそれを踏まえて、お互いに認め合うことができたことによって、やっぱり自分たちが主における友、国境を越えて主における友というふうに感じることができたことが大きな恵みです。
From the different culture, we have different practice, we have different way of doing things. So it's a stretching, but it's also I've also grown from that I learned from different perspective and different way of doing things that which I find it is very valuable. And the second thing is about the formators. Our community also composed of formators from different countries. So we also learned that how Ignatian spiritualities, the Jesuit spiritualities, manifest in different cultural ways.
Many general congregations, and in fact even the Pope, remind us of the importance of enculturation, that the only sustainable way to evangelize is really to enter the culture. And for better or worse, we had that practice here in the novitiate early in our formation. That practice, that slow and painful process of first getting to know our own culture, so that then I would have the freedom to relativize it. That was just only a part of me, and not my only identity.
As a Jesuit, as a Jesuit scholastic, this time I'm looking forward to being introduced to the works of the society and engaging in them. Here we are fortunate to be introduced already, in the missions, even in responding to the pandemic. We were given the chance to take part in the relief operations of Tanging Yaman Foundation, and of giving food packs for frontliners in one of the hospitals catering to COVID-19 patients. But that's something that I look forward to in the next stage of my formation, also being there already and being formed to be meant for others.
Being open to all the possibilities that God may invite you in your life, but also being open to others for what you are discerning, what you are thinking about your life. Sometimes we may keep things within ourselves, but when we talk, when we get in touch with others, so I think things will become more clear, and then we can have a better discernment. Second thing is be honest. I think we may have different kind of desires, but as long as we are honest to ourselves, I think we can find what is really the desires, the deepest desire within ourselves. And so I think honesty to ourselves, to others is very important. The last thing is to trust yourself, and also to trust God that what do you have, what do you experience in your life is really the movement of the Spirit there, that we can discern how God is moving us in our life.
Ayan, napakarami nating natutunan ngayong araw na ito, no? Brother G-Boy, ano yung mga nakaantig sa'yo?
Siguro nakakatuwang balikan yung mga kwento ng mga kapatid nating Jesuita. No? Inspiring talaga yung mga kung paano sila tumugon sa tawag ng Panginoon. Sa'yo ba?
Vocation confirming yon. It also strengthens and deepens our own call as Jesuits in our own vocation as Jesuits in formation.
So mga kahabit, salamat sa pagsama sa Tambayan today. Nag-enjoy ba kayo? Let us know through our Instagram and Facebook page at Conference of Major Superiors PH.
Ayan, at huwag kalimutan syempre mag-send ng stars, no, to help our different advocacies in CMSP. Also visit our YouTube channel, CMSP Media, where you can also catch our weekly broadcasts of the Holy Rosary and the Sunday Eucharist, and more contents from the consecrated life in the Philippines.
Also, check us out sa TV Maria Free Channel every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. with replays every Thursday at 6 a.m. and 10 p.m.
And we also invite you to like our own,
of course,
Facebook page, Philippine Jesuits, to know more about the Jesuits. Ayan, thank you once again to our dear Kahabits, no, for joining us, for hanging out with us here at the Habits Tambayan.
Join us again next week as we explore the consecrated life, the church, the world, and the society. We are the Society of Jesus, aka the Jesuits. I am Brother G-Boy.
And I'm Brother Nato. And we are signing off from your weekly inspiration and information companion. And this has been
The Habits.